Californians' wallets could soon feel the pinch across the state, as Governor Gavin Newsom's new budget has had a frosty welcome. Here are the full details. California's financial situation has turned dire, and it's forced Governor Gavin Newsom and Democratic lawmakers to make some drastic decisions. They've slashed $16 billion from the budget, declared a statewide fiscal emergency, and tapped into the state's rainy day reserves to tackle their huge $46.8 billion deficit. After weeks of intense negotiations with labor unions and business interests, the result is a budget that's causing quite a stir. Just 2 years ago, California had a massive $100 billion surplus. Simply without precedent, said Newsom at the time. Now, it's facing a serious budget crisis, putting Newsom in a tough spot, especially after his previous comments. This agreement sets the state on a path for long-term fiscal stability, addressing the current shortfall and strengthening budget resilience down the road, Newsom said, trying to put a positive spin on a bad situation. He told Californians that the essential programs in education, healthcare, and homelessness wouldn't be affected, but the cuts are deep and widespread. One of the most controversial moves is the decision to delay the minimum wage hike for healthcare workers. Originally set to kick in on June 1st, this delay has left many disappointed. Newsom has been struggling to fund this minimum wage hike and signed a bill just a few weeks ago to push it back a month. Now, it's on hold until October. Workers are disappointed, said SEIU United Healthcare Workers West President Dave Reagan. The wage hike is now dependent on higher-than-expected state revenue or more federal funding for hospitals. Businesses in California are also going to be taking a hit. The budget deal suspends nearly $15 billion in tax breaks a year earlier than planned. It's a move that's meant to avoid deeper cuts elsewhere but will come as a heavy blow to the business sector. Companies will now be scrambling to rethink their financial strategies. The budget cuts are hitting every sector. Affordable housing, $1.1 billion slashed from funding. Prison system, $750 million cut, including reductions in state operations and vacant positions. Homelessness, while $1 billion is added for homelessness grants, other funding faces cuts and new accountability measures. Education, a controversial move has delayed $5.5 billion in funding for schools and community colleges, prompting a big backlash from the California Teachers Association. A big sticking point in the budget talks was the use of the Managed Care Organization, MCO, tax. This tax brings in federal funds for Medi-Cal, California's healthcare program for low-income residents. Newsom proposed diverting over $6 billion from rate increases for healthcare providers to avoid cuts, which led to a clash with his allies in the California Medical Association and Planned Parenthood, organizations that had previously stood behind the governor. The final budget offers much less for rate increases than previously promised, leaving many frustrated. To tap into the state's rainy day reserves, Newsom had to declare a fiscal emergency. This move has sparked criticism from many, who have accused Democrats of financial mismanagement. This is not a revenue problem, said David Crane, president of Special Interest Group Govern for California. The deficit is a result of expenditures. Many of these critics are worried about the impact on California's most vulnerable residents if the economy continues its downward slope. The budget also delays funding for crucial broadband expansion projects until 2027. A smaller investment of $250 million will go toward improving the fiber optic network. Newsom and lawmakers have proposed new measures to set aside surplus funds for future budgets and increase the rainy day fund, but the details are still vague. California's budget deal will be a tough pill to swallow for many. While the intention is to stabilize the state's finances, the widespread cuts are sure to impact many residents of the Golden State. Newsom's administration now has to battle with the fallout from these decisions while trying to maintain essential services for millions of Californians. The coming months will be critical for him and a lot of residents.